Welcome back. In today's lecture, I am Mr. V.D. Jadhav, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Chemistry, Teaching College, Nasik. Student, in previous lecture, we have seen chapter 1, that is instrumentation of HPLC, and finished the chapter 1, instrumentation of HPLC. In today's lecture, we will start next chapter from our syllabus, that is chapter 2, HPLC methods. There is a different HPLC methods from which today in today's lecture we discuss adsorption chromatography and partition chromatography. First, adsorption chromatography, that is liquid solid chromatography. This chromatographic method is considered one of the most used method in protein purification and analysis. It is mainly based on the following concepts: the interaction of the solute or mobile phase molecules at the surface of a solid particles forms the basis of the adsorption mechanism. The separation happened due to the competition between the analyte and the solvent for the binding site on the stationary phase. A solvent that elutes compounds more rapidly and therefore competes better for the chromatographic sites is called a strong solvent, while the solvent that cannot compete well is called weak solvent. These are the one of the type of adsorption chromatography, that is column adsorption chromatography. Here schematic diagram of a column liquid chromatographic system. This is reference given. Here solvent reservoir, pump, pre-column, sample introduction, guard column. This is mobile phase, support particles, column, and this is stationary phase, and lastly detector or fraction collector. Water is a strong solvent for silica adsorbent, while hexane is a weak solvent for silica adsorbent. Thus, solvent strength can be adjusted by using mixture of these solvents. There are two types of adsorbent: polar adsorbent such as silica or alumina, non-polar adsorbent such as hexane and heptane. The polar adsorbents are the most widely used stationary phases in liquid-solid chromatography. This polar adsorbent such as silica or alumina is most widely used stationary phase in liquid-solid chromatography, that is adsorption chromatography. Retention of solute substance to be separated on these phases increases with increasing polarity and requires displacement of adsorbed solvent molecules from the stationary phase. Partition and bonded phase chromatography. Before that, this partition chromatography we will discuss purpose of adsorption chromatography. In this lesson, we discuss application of three types of adsorption chromatography, that is column adsorption chromatography, thin layer chromatography and gas solid chromatography. Now, what is purpose of adsorption chromatography? We all know on the back of most medication packages you will see a list of instructions. Some of these instructions include how frequently you should take the medication and the maximum dosage. How are these times and dosages determined? Part of the process is by determining the concentration of the drug in your system after a certain amount of time. The concentration of the drug in your system can be determined via adsorption chromatography. Adsorption chromatography has many applications. Generally, it is used for determining the concentration of a compound or its purity, separating out a mixture into individual components, and identifying what is in a mixture. There are three main types of adsorption chromatography: column adsorption chromatography, thin layer chromatography, and gas solid chromatography. First, discuss column adsorption chromatography. Used a column packed with the solid stationary phase. A liquid mobile phase runs through this column and specific molecules will adsorb to the solid. Some components will adsorb more readily or stronger than other components. The compound that absorb stronger will form a line first at the top of the column. Compound that absorb weaker will form a line toward the bottom of the column. Compounds that aren't adsorb at all will simply run through the entire column and collect in a beaker at the bottom. Additional solvent are then added to the column one at a time. The first solvent can break the weakest interaction between the mobile and stationary phase, bringing that compound with it into the collection beaker. Stronger and strong solvent are added until all of the compounds have been eluted, that is, run through the column. Drug testing can be performed using column adsorption chromatography. Urine or other body samples are run through the column where the high pH of the urine makes it elute out first, followed by other substances. The other substances that elute out can be tested to see if any drugs are present. The nice things about this type of chromatography is that the separated out substance can be used for further testing. Next type of adsorption chromatography is thin layer chromatography. Uses a piece of glass or other substance layered with a thin layer of solid such as silica or alumina. The method behind how TLC works is very similar to how the column works. Compounds that have a strong interaction to the solid won't travel very far along the plate. The compound that have a strong interaction to the solid won't travel very far along the plate, while compound with a weak interaction to the solid will travel further along the plate. In order to use the TLC plates, we first need to have a known sample and test how far the components in that sample will travel on the TLC plate. This is called the reference or standard. We can then compare our unknown sample to the reference plate. If the spots in the unknown sample travel at the same distance as the known sample, then they are the same component in the sample. TLC is particularly useful for comparing samples because we can easily see if two samples are the same or different. The biggest benefit of TLC is that it does not require much space or equipment. In order to test the purity of your drinking water, scientists may take a sample of it and put it onto the TLC plate. If the RF values, how far it travels, are the same as for clean water, then the water is clean. If the RF values are the same as for the clean water, then the water is clean. But if there is an RF value, that is a retention factor value, that is different as for clean water, then the water is contaminated. The third type of adsorption chromatography is gas solid chromatography. Gas solid chromatography is different because it uses a gas instead of a liquid as the mobile phase, which can adsorb onto a solid. In order to use this method, the solid phase is coated on the inside of a very thin column. This column is put into an oven, often a substance called diatomaceous earth is used as the solid stationary phase. These all are the applications of adsorption chromatography, including column adsorption chromatography, thin layer chromatography, and gas solid chromatography. Next, partition and bonded phase chromatography, that is liquid liquid chromatography. This method is based on the separation of solute by the use of difference in their distribution between a liquid mobile phase and a liquid stationary phase coated onto a solid support. Chemical forces that exist between molecules can be used in this type of separation, including hydrogen bonds, van der Waals forces, ion-ion interactions. In classical partition chromatography, a polar liquid such as beta-beta oxy dipropionitrile ODPN was coated onto the support particles and hexane was used as a mobile phase. Polarity. The role of polarity is central to the interaction of molecules in the liquid or gaseous state, and the polarity is a major determinant property in the overall chromatographic process. In physicochemical basis for polarity is the interaction of attractive forces that exist between molecules. These attractive forces are Dispersive, that is van der Waals forces, these are important only when other forces are lacking. Dipolar forces, hydrogen bonding, dielectric interaction or electrostatic interactions. These are the attractive forces. The more polar molecules have strong dipoles. An ionic character, which is the ability to form strong hydrogen bonds or a combination of the three forces together. The less polar, that is non-polar, have a dispersive forces as the primary basis for interaction with a very weak ability to interact through dipolar. Hydrogen bonding or electrostatic forces are the dispersive forces. These are the physico-chemical interaction between molecules that constitute concept of polarity. A. Dispersive or van der Waals interaction. These are induce attraction between this dispersive and van der Waals interaction. B. Dipole interaction, plus minus plus minus plus minus. Here dipole dipole interaction. And C. Hydrogen bonding. Here this is alcohol. Hydrogen bonding. Here ROH, ROH, ROH. Oxygen minus delta charge, hydrogen plus delta charge, hydrogen bonding interaction. Here oxygen delta minus, hydrogen delta plus, hydrogen bonding between hydrogen and oxygen, hydrogen bonding between hydrogen and oxygen. Here CH3OH, 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 hydrogen bonding between oxygen and hydrogen. Oxygen having minus delta, hydrogen is plus delta charge. D. Electrostatic interactions. Electrostatic interaction all these are the physico-chemical interaction between molecules that constitute concept of polarity. Solvent polarity and solvent strength. Solvent strength in liquid chromatography is a measure of the ability of the mobile phase to compete with the solute molecule for active sites, that is, interaction or attraction sites on the stationary phase. For instance, when the stationary phase is silica gel, the active sites are the highly polar hydroxyl group, that is SiOH. Therefore, in this case, solvent strength increases with the solvent or mobile phase polarity. When the stationary phase is non-polar, that is, for example, polydivinyl benzene, then the solvent strength decreases with the increase in solvent or mobile phase polarity. The strength of a solvent is directly related to its polarity. The overall degree of interactive forces of the solvent is quantitated in the polarity index P'. There are some tables available showing polarity index of certain materials. Criteria for selecting an elution solvent. The first important step in solvent selection is to maximize solute solubility in a given solvent. That is, the solvent to be a good mobile phase should dissolve the sample to be eluted over a wide range of concentrations. This is highly affected by the solvent polarity. Polarity can be adjusted by mixing two solutions with different polarities so that we can obtain a mobile phase with the desired strength. For example, 50 percentage of minus zero point 0.4 polar solution mixed with 50 percentage of a 4.3 polar solution would be a 1.95 polarity index. These are the table that is representative solvent polarity indices. Here isooctane polarity index minus zero point 0.4, solvent group 0, hexane 0.0, solvent group 0, carbon tetrachloride 1.77, like that. All these are the solvent, their polarity index and solvent group. Now the normal phase chromatography, when the stationary phase is more polar than the mobile phase, this type of chromatography is normal phase chromatography. Reverse phase chromatography, when the mobile phase is more polar than the stationary phase, then this type of chromatography is known as reverse phase chromatography. First, we will see reverse phase chromatography. The silica gel is polar and to be used for the reverse phase separation. Its polar surface has to be changed. This can be done by attaching different functional groups such as hydrocarbons, mostly C8 and C18, that is non-polar group. As a result, we create a non-polar phase. This type is used more than the normal phase, and the reason why it is more popular is that its weak mobile phase is the high polar water. Therefore, the samples are applied in this weak mobile phase, that is applied in aqueous state, aqueous status such as a biological compounds. This makes it specially attractive in clinical chemistry for drug conformation, amino acids analysis and hormone separations. Next, normal phase chromatography. Normal phase or aqueous normal phase chromatography is a chromatography technique that involves the mobile phase region between reverse phase chromatography and organic normal phase chromatography. Principle of normal phase chromatography. In normal phase chromatography, the stationary phase is polar and the mobile phase is non-polar. In normal phase chromatography, the stationary phase is polar and mobile phase is non-polar. In reverse phase, we have just the opposite. The stationary phase is non-polar and the mobile phase is polar. Typical stationary phases for normal phase chromatography are silica or organic moieties with cyano and amino functional group. For reverse phase, Alkyl hydrocarbons are the preferred stationary phase. Octadicyl C18 is the most common stationary phase, but octyl C8 and butyl C4 are also used in some applications. The designation for the reverse phase material refer to the length of the hydrocarbon chain. In normal phase chromatography, the least polar compounds elute first and the most polar compounds elute last. The mobile phase consists of non-polar solvent such as hexane or heptane, mixed with slightly more polar solvent such as isopropanol, ethyl acetate or chloroform. Retention decreases as the amount of polar solvent in the mobile phase increases. In reverse phase chromatography, the most polar compound elute first and the most non-polar compound eluting last. The mobile phase is generally a binary mixture of water and miscible polar organic solvent like methanol, acetonitrile or tetrahydrofuran (THF). Retention increases as the amount of the polar solvent water, that is water, in the mobile phase increases. Normal phase chromatography, an adsorptive mechanism, is used for the analysis of solute readily soluble in organic solvents. Based on their polar differences such as amines, acids, metal complexes, etc., reverse phase chromatography, a partition mechanism, is typically used for separation by non-polar differences. Here, although silica is polar, yet some other group are attached to it to strengthen its polarity. These groups are cyanide, NO2, NH2. In the above two phases, because the C8 or C18 or the use of cyanide, NO2, NH2 are bonded to the silica gel, this is called bonded phase. If question arises, how can we choose which phase to use for a certain solute? The material of choice should be the one that give high retention of separated components. So, if we know that the separated material are polar, we will choose the normal phase. If we know that the separation material are polar, we will choose the normal phase because likes attracts likes and vice versa. If you know the separated material are non-polar, we choose the reverse phase. Although the normal phase was the first type to be used, it is not used as the reverse phase because in the normal phase, the polar material is used on the stationary phase, which is found to retain the compounds most strongly. Disadvantages of the partition chromatography. The liquid stationary phase will eventually bleed from the column. Due to this bleeding, reproducibility get affected and also short column life. These are all are the disadvantages. The mobile phase can be isocratic system, the use of a constant mobile phase composition to elute solute. The mobile phase can be in isocratic system, the use of the constant mobile phase composition to elute solute. Gradient system, eluting with gradient gradient starting from weakest mobile solution to the strongest mobile phase. This system enhances the resolution, especially if the two components to be resolved are close to each other. Example in figure 5.14, this 5.14. In this example, a mixture of mono, di and triglycerides of lauric acid will be separated using partition chromatography. The silica gel stationary phase has a monolayer of water strongly held by hydrogen bonding. The solute molecules are partitions between liquid mobile phase, that is chlorophore methanol, and the water monolayer. The most polar component, the monoglycerides, are retained most by the polar stationary phase. The intermediate polarity components, the diglycerides, are retained to a much lesser degree. Non-polar components such as triglycerides are not retained and pass quickly. Here, mechanism of liquid-liquid chromatography, that is partition chromatography, as exemplified by the separation of the monoglyceride, diglycerides and triglycerides of lauric acid. Silica gel stationary phase has a monolayer of water strongly held by hydrogen bonding. Solute molecules are partitioned between the liquid mobile phase, that is chloroform methanol, and the liquid stationary phase or water monolayer. The most polar sample component, the monoglycerides, are retained most by the polar stationary phase. This is shown by heavy arrow. Sample components of intermediate polarities such as the diglycerides are retained to a much lesser degree, that is light arrow, this light arrow. This is heavy arrow. They shown by light arrow. They shown here. The most polar sample component, the monoglyceride, are retained most by the polar stationary phase, shown by heavy arrow. This is heavy arrow. Chloroform methanol, liquid mobile phase, here chloroform methanol, and liquid stationary phase or water monolayer, this water monolayer. This is silica surface. The most polar sample component, the monoglyceride, are retained most by the polar stationary phase, heavy arrow, this heavy arrow. And sample components of intermediate polarity such as diglyceride. Intermediate polarities such as diglyceride are retained to a much lesser degree. This diglyceride retain lesser degree. This shown by light arrow. Whereas relatively non-polar components such as the triglyceride are not retained and prefer the relatively non-polar stationary phase. Sample components of intermediate polarities such as diglyceride are retained to a much lesser degree, whereas relatively non-polar components such as triglyceride are not retained. Triglyceride are not retained and prefer the relatively non-polar stationary phase. Here silica surface and this water monolayer. Here chloroform methanol 5s to 15. This polar molecule. This is intermediate polarity. These are the example. All these are explained here. This figure 5.14 explained in here. Please note that if a non-polar material was attached to the silica gel, such as the hydrogen octadicyl or octyl groups in reverse phase, and in this case the mobile phase will be highly polar material such as water, methanol or acetonitrile. In this case, the most polar eludes first while the less polar retain. In this case, the most polar eludes first while the less polar retain, and the non-polar retain the last. And the non-polar retain the last. This figure 5.13, mechanism of adsorption chromatography by separation of 3-methyl anisole and two of its biochemical metabolites. The most polar sample components such as 3-methyl 4-hydroxyanisole are retained the most by polar silica gel stationary phase. Heavy arrow. This shown by heavy arrow. Sample components of intermediate polarity such as 2,5-dimethyl oxytoluene are retained to a much lesser degree, light arrow. Whereas relatively non-polar components such as 3-methylanisole are not retained and prefer the non-polar mobile phase hexane. Here all shown in this diagram. In figure 5-12, mechanism of separation of metabolite of methylanisole by silica gel chromatography. Hydrogen bonds shown by dotted line. Covalent bonds shown by thick line. Mechanism of separation of metabolite of methylanisole by silica gel chromatography. This dotted line indicate hydrogen bonding. This thin line indicate covalent bonds. It is an alternative chromatographic system to the HPLC. It means fast protein liquid chromatography. This system employs operating pressure significantly lower than those used in conventional HPLC system. Lower pressure allows the use of matrix beds based on polymers such as agarose. The columns are constructed of inert glass while those for HPLC are made of stainless steel. These all are adsorption chromatography and partition chromatography. Thank you.